Rich people of Reddit who married someone significantly poorer, what surprised you about their previous way of life? Making financial decisions based around the 3-paycheck month. If you're paid every 2 weeks, most months you get 2 paychecks, and all of your monthly bills and budgeting is based on those 2 paychecks. But twice a year there are 3 paydays in a month, and that's when you can actually solve problems. That's when you can get the car registered, or fix the dryer, or get the cat spayed. The other 10 months you're doing maintenance and trying to scrape by. 3 paycheck months you can actually try to fix problems. I know this so well. Finally in a salaried position but on a tipped income, those 3 paycheck months were a serious lifesaver. More of a funny incident, but I was the poor one. My husband, at the time still boyfriend, took me out to a very nice restaurant. Waiter asked if I want pepper on my Caesar salad that was just made tableside. I said sure and he goes about it. Thing is, I didn't know you had to say stop. My husband slowly realizes this, but decides to see it play out. He did eventually say that I need to say stop. I just thought a Caesar was had this way as it was my first time even eating a salad that wasn't just iceberg and ranch dressing. It still tasted fine, just a little bit too much pepper, haha. Man, that's cute. When the family had people over for dinner, if they ended the prayer before the meal with FHB, Amen. It was a signal to let the children know that they don't have enough food for everyone, so take smaller servings and let the guests get a regular serving. FHB equals family, hold back. They were always generous to their friends and didn't let their lack of funds embarrass themselves when doing so. I grew up poor too. But we never had any guests round for dinner. FHB, my heart loudly crying face. Was just thinking the same thing. My family was considered anti-social. It wasn't because we didn't like socializing or going to events, it's because we couldn't afford to, and if mum and dad organized dinners they planned months beforehand, scraped every cent together to pay for it. My ex was stunned when I told her I've only ever had one birthday party, 21st, because mum and dad had no money. Honestly, food insecurity. When we were first married she would get visibly uneasy if the food in the house was running low. She never overate or anything, she was just always concerned about it. A lot of times when she was younger, she went hungry. On the humorous side though, she hates camping. Her answer is always the same: I camped because it was fun. She camped because they couldn't afford hotels. For me, my love of camping started from growing up poor. The only family vacations my single mom and brother and I had were family reunion events several states away. It involved long road trips in a shitty car with no A/C, but we got to camp in tents and get a break from reality. We also ate a lot better over a campfire than me making hamburger helper for my brother while my mom went to bed early. She worked hard to support us and battled with depression untreated for years until she could afford medication. Those trips were good for all of us. I get giddy with excitement after grocery shopping trips, it just feels so good to have enough food. Though I still have to constantly remind myself I'm allowed to eat it if I'm hungry, I'm a grown-up. I bought it. That and snacks. We were never allowed to snack between meals and never bought anything extra that wasn't absolutely necessary. My husband had to teach me you buy something tasty that you don't actually need, and then you can just eat it whenever you feel like. Amazing. I still don't really do it, but it's nice to know I can. It is this logic that's motivating me to try and get a decent salary. I cannot wait until I can just buy a thing and eat it whenever instead of planning my entire budget and seeing if there's room for it. She and her mother lived with her grandfather to not be homeless because her grandfather owned a house. She was putting community college payments on her credit card and building debt with it. I paid off her credit cards when we were dating and she cried from me being so nice. It was only like $1,300. I bought a condo, then we got married, then we bought a house. I never really considered myself rich until I started dating her and learned that a trip to Wendy's was a treat. I grew up middle class, and we are currently middle class, A trip to Wendy's was a treat. You've basically just summarized my entire struggle with finances and food. I grew up working class, dad's a welder, mom stayed at home with us, and eating out, even just at McDonald's, was a huge treat. But now that I'm on my own and making money, I can have that treat every day if I want. My fiancé recently pointed this out to me and I'm working on it, but that habit is so damn hard to break. Edit, OMG, my first gold. Thank you, kind stranger. Also, to address a common question about welders making a lot of money, I've copy/pasted my response to an earlier comment. Depends on where you're at, I think. My dad was making around $20/hr working full-time, but he also was paying more than half of his monthly income to his ex-wife for child support, 2 older half-brothers, and alimony. So he may have been making good money, we just didn't see most of it. Additionally, we were in a tiny town in Texas in the 90s, and Dad wasn't very interested in moving up the ladder or the company he was with wasn't eager to have him move up. Things got much easier in the past couple years when he switched companies and moved up to general foreman in construction right before retiring.